All right, welcome back, guys. Tonight we're going to do a little assisted straddle stretch. We've done this last month, so if you've got a weight, you're going to use that. Just for context, I've got a 2.5, a 5, I've got a 10 here. That doesn't mean that I'm going to be using all of them. It's just an example. You could be using a kettlebell, a dumbbell, a plate, you know, just something. All you're going to be doing is sitting straddle, holding on to it, and leaning forward. So obviously as you lean forwards, that weight is going to help pull you into the stretch a little bit. It's going to be great for you guys that just find that you've just not got the mobility or the control to be able to pull yourself under your own steam into that position. So we're just going to use something to pull us in. We've done this different ways. One of the ways is obviously that we've tied one of the elastic bands around like the leg of your TV stand or sofa or whatever and pulled it in. That works slightly differently. It's going to give you a similar effect, but slightly different. So we're just mixing it up a wee bit. But we've got to get warmed up. We've got to get started. So we're going to start dead easy. Some knee rolls and some shoulder rolls to get mobilized. So you know the drill. Lay your back, knees together, feet together, and rolling side to side. Brilliant. Because I'm already on my back and it's late in the day and feel pretty good already, I'm going to do my shoulder rolls from my side. If you would prefer to do them on your hands and knees, your preference, your option. So I'm going to do 10 of these. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Off to the other side. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Onto our backs. We're going to do our hamstring extenders. So wherever you're comfortable, I tend to start with the knee above the hip, but if you're more flexible and you want to start further up, that's fine. 10, 9, as long as you get a totally straight leg. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Other side. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Foot this time. So just straighten that leg out. Foot 10 times 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you got a great up stretch in your calf, mobilizing that nerve. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This time the knee and then the foot. So we straighten it and then flex it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I started too fast there and I wasn't getting quite straight. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fantastic. Up at the half kneeling. This side first. Oh, I'm out of shot. Let me pop that up a wee shade. There we go. Out of half kneeling. So because we're going to be working on that straddle, the muscles that we're mainly going to need is our hamstrings and our adductors. So hence why we've done knee rolls and shoulder rolls, just a bit of general mobility. We've then done a release, a mobilization for those hamstrings. So when I'm doing this, I'm just getting some nice stretch, length and mobilization into that hamstring, but I'm also just getting a wee bit into the hip flexor as well. But tonight, for me, the main objective is to really work on this hamstring. So I'm going to be focusing more on this position than I am in that position where we typically feel it into that back leg. So you might want to think about doing the same and be more interested in getting the toes back, the foot pulled back, and getting stretched in that entire posterior section of the leg. I'm trying to go at a reasonable pace. That's why I actually rushed the first couple of the extenders there, because I want to get some blood into that area, I want to mobilize it, prepare it. And then if you can, bring your hands or fingertips down, try and keep that back reasonably straight, pull the toes back, pull the foot back. Feel a nice quality stretch up the back of the leg, nothing too intense. So if you need to be up here resting on something, get your hand against the sofa, whatever. If you're more flexible and it needs to be further forward, then fantastic, but go to where is appropriate for you. Good. Bring that leg back, change it over, other leg in. And again, don't miss out the hip flexor because we're here, but maybe want to think about focusing it onto the hamstring. So initially what I tend to do is you'll see my toes stay relatively flexed forward because I'm just trying to work the hamstring first. And then as I feel like I'm getting into it, I start pulling the toes back as well. So it's almost like at the minute I'm just lengthening it for one end from up here. When I pull the toes back, I'm pulling the bottom part and I'm pulling the top part in opposite directions. So I'm going to start getting forward a little bit now, looking for that stretch, trying to keep my back from rounding. So when I round my back, I'm tucking my tailbone under, which is short in the hamstring, opposite what we're trying to achieve. It's better if you're up and you tilt your pelvis forward, so keep that spine in a nice position. Loading it by leaning forwards, and then get the foot back, get the toes back, and get a nice quality stretch into there. Great. We're going to jump on our bum. Just a quick forward bend. Again, initially, I don't really worry about the toes. I have them a little bit pointed. Try to keep the back straight and sit forward into it. So straight doesn't mean that it doesn't bend, but there's a difference between this and that. You'll see that there comes a point where I'm just going forwards, but eventually this lumbar part, this lower part, can't go forward any further. So then the top part needs to go, but I've not done this and then roll forward into it. I want to get that. Once you've got that, next thing is start pulling the toes back. So there, I'm getting a crazy effective stretch. Not that deep into it, but it's just hitting the spot. Right, from here, into our frog. So we've done a bit of work now for those hamstrings. Time to hit the adductors. So we've hit this a little bit recently, so you guys know the drill. That's apparent because they're a little bit tired. In this, so you guys know I went swimming yesterday. That's why we rescheduled yesterday's session. So while Jackson was paddling about in the wee shallow pool, I was stretching. So the great thing about the pool is you're buoyant. So I was just getting out in as wide a straddle as I could, and damn, can I feel it today? So this might be a bit interesting, but hopefully you guys are feeling okay. Great, bringing one leg out. So a lot of prep just to be able to get into this position, to do the loaded exercise, but all the prep is making you more flexible. Change sides. And this is where people go wrong. They just do the sort of the highlight reel type exercise. They're not doing any of the prep, and they wonder why they don't get the results. It's all this boring stuff that accompanies that we all love. My last client just left the back of 60 and he was like, oh, I hate stretching and I hate doing mobility work and I hate foam roll. I was like, that's why you're always in the clinic, because you're not willing to look after yourself. You're not willing to do all that stuff. That's fine. Great. Last bit. Both legs up. And again, I like a little rock there because I get opportunity to get into the hamstring and the adductors. Fantastic. And come on out of that. So I'm going to put the mat to the side. Need that from there. And this is where I'm going to need my weights, whatever it is that you guys are going to be using for this. There, be right. So I'm going to, for example, demonstrate, start with this. So just have it there. First thing we've got to do is just get into our straddle position. First of all, just take a wee bit of time to get into it. Other thing you could be doing with these weights just now is using them as something heavy to pull you forward. And you'll be surprised, like it doesn't, you know, so what is there? That's 15, 17 and a half. It's just enough to pull me, like be a little anchor to pull me forwards. You could use the sofa, your tiles, like I often do it with the floor, but just having something to pull you forward a little bit can be great. So we've just got to get into that position first of all. Have a little static stretch. Great. So I think I'm going to manage 10 kilograms. I could be wildly overconfident here, but I think that's what I'm going to manage. So what we're going to do is hold on to it. If you're not cool about this, hold it in front, and then we're basically going to do this. If you're a bit more sure of things, you can actually put it onto your neck and shoulders, and that's going to just allow you to go even further forwards. Now, I would recommend that maybe even that first set, you hold it in front, because at least here you can drop it and get rid of it. If it's behind you, it's a little bit more difficult, and you might find that it's like a cartoon and you get pancaked and you're stuck, and that's just you. So I'm going to still do the first set in front of me, just to see how I go. Don't go too deep. Don't go too deep too quick. Because this is loaded, it does potentially carry more risk of injury. But I think you guys will be fine. Just don't go too far. We're going to build it up over the 10 reps. So we're just here. We're just going to hinge forwards. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great, and then we just take a wee rest. If you want to bring your legs in, you can bring them in, give them a wee shake, just recover. If you want to stay in that position, fine. My objective is that I'm going to go heavier and or wider. If you want, you can obviously go heavier and wider, but do so at your own risk. So I'm going to keep the 10K, but I'm going to go a wee bit wider because that feels like it opened up a wee bit. The other thing is, those were stopping me from getting a little bit lower. So by the time I got to about 6 reps, my elbows were touching them. I want to be able to get maximum range, so I've taken that out of the way. So that's our recovery, so just hang on again. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So make sure that that move is under control. It's not a bounce, it's not a pulse, it's you're down under control, and then you're lifting it back up, you're bringing it back out of that position. If you bounce it, that's where you're more likely to cause yourself a bit of damage. And actually it's going to be less effective because you're just using the elasticity of the muscle to get deeper rather than kind of earning it. So slow it down, split second pause at the bottom, hold it, bring it back up under your own steam. So again, feeling pretty comfortable there. So I'm going to notch it out a tiny wee bit, go for a third set, and here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, getting ready for the end bit, 3, if you can, 2, we're going to do a 1 and hold. 1 and hold. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, relax. Fantastic. Let's find out how you get on. That is it. Short and sharp tonight. Move all these weights to get back in. Still took us 20 minutes nearly.